Hello everyone, LRon here with part 58 of my Minecraft 1.2.3. So now we are converting this wood into planks so that we can make ourselves signs. Because signs have some interesting properties that, as you could probably imagine, defy the normal physics of reality. And signs are kind of one of the big important um, components to the mob elevator. So basically the idea, one of the anomalies of signs with relation to water is that signs will block the flow of water. So if we put a line of signs like this, and then dig down on those blocks that are immediately below, then subsequently place water up here. The water that we place up here will not flow down there. So this little trough that I'm making will not get water that has a source that's above those signs. And ain't that swell? It will basically allow us to control, where water flows and how it chooses to flow and all kinds of important little things. Let's see, and now we want to get this nice and centered. I don't think it's technically a requirement to have it be centered. I guess later on, one of my spider ones won't be centered. Unless that's kind of proof that it doesn't need to be centered, but it's supposedly good practice for it to be centered, or at the very least, it makes some level of sense to do it. So now, basically just making sure that my dimensions are making sense right now. And I think I decide that I need to go one more out. So I widen this whole shooting match by 1. Which probably ends up not being the most necessary thing in the world, but at the time I felt like I should. And that's probably fine. It could probably really go either way. The additional benefit of having it be 1 wider is probably not worth the actual effort of going out and doing it, but the effort is relatively minimal, so at least there is that. So once we widen this up and determine our spot that we're going to use as the central draining point, because the idea is basically all of them. Oh boy. So all of the zombies flow to this line here, and then they'll get flowed down by another set of water into one spot that basically funnels them together. And then they'll flow out a ways and then get elevatored out. And so that's going to basically use the same weird physics that the signs have been using before. Although we then get to use weird monster AI logic to kind of do another little special something. So basically, this stems from the fact that zombies don't want to be underwater. They hate it. They don't understand the concept of it and wish to be out of that state. So they're basically holding down their jump button as they're in water to make sure that they're always having their head above the water, because that seems to be their highest priority in life. So with signs, we abuse this fact. We essentially make it so that there is alternating between water blocks and sign blocks, which essentially makes it so that we have water free floating in the air, being held up by signs. And so essentially what ends up happening as a result is they're doing their holding down jump, which makes them flow up, and they feel the wetness. Yeah, because we're alternating, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, and they're too high. They're always going to realize that they are wet, so they're going to keep doing their jump sequence, which means they keep flowing upwards. And because of the fact that we have these signs interspersed, they're getting their pockets of air, so they're not drowning. So, basically, their AI tricks them into going up our elevator. While if we were to construct a similar elevator for our own personal use, we would not have such a problem. We could go up or down. And of course the problem is it's still like slower than using ladders, further down at least. I think up might be faster with the elevator. I can't remember. But in any case, we are now ready to get started. So then I need to go back and double check a reference real quick. So that's why we're here. And I think I end up deciding I need to reverse the roles here. Yes. For some reason, I by default want to do it backwards from what I need to do. But easy remedy. And I think I end up having that curse me in the what do you call them? The spider one. Alright. So we place our water here. I think we want that spot there to make it so that it flows, so it basically pulls you into it. There we go. Mine ourselves a bit. And then we'll start the chaining process. Alright, so I've mined up as high as I can go, so now we're going to need to use some signs and some more buckets of water to make it so we can get higher, so that we can continue working on the elevator. Because the beauty of this system is it works while you're working on it. So, because I only brought 2 buckets of water, we'll need to make frequent trips back here. And then occasionally we'll probably need to make more signs as well. Then I realize I need to figure out how high this needs to go. But that'll be it for this video. I'll see you next video.